so we downloaded the Fedora 43 server edition, no GUI. We changed the where's my thing? We changed my host name to NextCloud, and we also changed the IP address to 192.168.199.11. DNS is our domain controller .5, and our internet or gateway is .2. All right, so we're on the Fedora 43, and what I've been doing here, I updated the system so all the packages are fully updated. Then I rebooted, make sure the kernel updates itself. System libraries, just to fully apply everything. So into the first command, get enforce. That's to confirm the CLinux mode. So get enforce, it queries the CLinux to report its current mode. And the expected output, it says enforcing, and so that's what we got going on. NextCloud, Apache, and Maria database must run with CLinux enforcing for the lab. So we're going to configure the CLinux properly later after we go through all these commands here. I installed the core Linux plus CLinux utilities. So the DNF -y, that's to say yes to everything that we're downloading. The Vim Nano, those are the text editors. I hate Vim, but I'll definitely use some Nano. wget is the command line file downloader, so you can download things from the web. Curl, it's the HTTPS transfer tool. tar, it's the archive extraction tool, which I found out NextCloud Zip uses tar internally, so that's why we got that in there. But we use tar for a lot of things anyways. bzip2, it's a compression utility. Policy core utils, that's the core CLinux management tools. We also got the policy core utils Python utils, which also provides the cmanage, and that's required for CLinux policy adjustments. Rabbit hole. I also did the firewall D, that's Fedora's firewall service. These are all like foundational tools needed for downloading the NextCloud and editing configs and managing CLinux. So down below, I enabled and started the firewall because you need your web server to have a firewall, for crying out loud. What I did is I permanently added the HTTP and the HTTPS service, and then so if I were to shut down the server or reboot it, it stays consistent through those times. I put reload on there so it applies all the changes, and then NextCloud will run over Apache, which uses ports 80 and 443, that's what we added for our firewall. All right, so I'm at a brick wall here. So the first one works, but the DNF install PHP does not work at all, and so I checked that if because Fedora 43 is supposed to have PHP modules repos on there already, it doesn't. So I tried doing the PHP 8.3. So it'd be like PHP 83-PHP-GD, right? That also didn't work. And I found out that there was a lot of repos that were disabled because I believe it's the most minimum core Fedora. So I tried to enable the repos that are disabled on the system, and that didn't work either. So the command manager, that's not even installed, so I had to install the DNF, install extras like utils to have the command manager activate. And so once that happens, then I can enable the other repos on Fedora. And then once I do that, then I can install the PHP utils modules. Golly. All right. So I went down a huge rabbit hole. A lot of things weren't working. Um, I got on Reddit and got in a conversation. Uh, So what I found out is that I used the Fedora 43 DVD install, and so with the DVD install, it doesn't give you the PHP, the MariaDB, the everything repos. It only gives me the Fedora updates, Fedora Cisco, and the updates testing. So that's why none of my PHP packages existed in my repo set. So I'm going to continue searching this Reddit conversations, and I'm gonna see if I can fix this because the tutorial doesn't work. Um, that tutorial was for like an older version, and for with the new version, a lot of those have been taken out of Fedora. I think it was from like Fedora 39 plus. Anyways, just giving you an update. All right, what you're looking at here is the product of 5 hours of troubleshooting. PHP does not work, or it's not on the Fedora 43. And there's a lot of things that were wrong in the beginning. Um, I use the Fedora Server DVD ISO install, so it is a bare minimal repo set. So I'm talking bare to the bones repo set. And so I had to do a ton of research and a ton of rabbit holes, like trying to find the rabbit and just pluck them out so I can, get things going, like deep. I discovered PHP missing due to missing repos. I found the config manager was unavailable. So with that not working, I had to manually create the repos. So I confirmed everything repos were missing. I manually created the repo files, rebuilt the DNF metadata, verified PHP packages became available after I did all that. Installed PHP normally, installed iMagick manually via the PECL because iMagick it doesn't come with Fedora anymore. Everything changed when Fedora 39 Plus came. Just boop, they moved everything. So that tutorial I showed earlier is it's old. Don't use that. But we're gonna go ahead and set up Maria database, and then I'll show you that. All right, welcome back. I'll just give you an update. I found the NextCloud actual website, the manual. So definitely check this out if you are doing this or following along. Because the other thing that I had going on was just not working. This is definitely what you want. Um, so what we're doing so far is that I created a user named admin, which is here. It's somewhere up here. Oh, here it is. So this is create user admin at localhost identified by password, but you should never put your password as this because it's ridiculous. But the only reason why I did it is because this machine is running really slow, and when I type more than 1 to 2 letters, when it's it's just difficult. It doesn't work. So, but yeah, never do that. I did restrict the local host. I assigned a password, which is X, which you should never do. I granted them full privileges on NextCloud database. So grant all privileges on NextCloud. I flushed the privileges, which means apply is pretty much what that means. I verified the user exists, which is right here. And then next steps is I'm gonna log out of MariaDB and log back in as the admin user that I created just to make sure it works. And then our next steps is, I believe, PHP and Apache. We'll see if we can get that thing to work. So I logged out of MariaDB. We're gonna log in with the admin the user that we created. And there's two things you can go about it. You can log in and log into the NextCloud database right away through the login, or you can just log in and then you can see databases that are there other than NextCloud. But we're going to log into NextCloud database itself, so we don't have to do any extra commands. So it's Maria DB -u as in user admin -p for prompt password golden. So we're in, and it says Maria none, right? So if we did it the other way, we would go right into NextCloud. Maria DB admin prompt password, and then we go directly into NextCloud. Password. Oh, there we go. And so we are actually in the database NextCloud. So that's a little trick. We are setting up PHP, how it's gonna react with NextCloud, and I'm fairly positive that this part is not in the lab itself, but I'm following the NextCloud manual, and they recommend it. So that's what I'm going to do. Well, that's what I did already. I'm just going to show you what I did. All right, so we get into the PHP initialization file, and they want us to boost up the memory limit, upload max file size, post max file size, and max execution size or time. And what I set them to is like memory limit is 512 megabytes. Upload max file size 512, post max size 512, max execution time is 360. And you'll find that in the manual, on the NextCloud manual. And to search for those, because this is a huge file, ginormous. Instead of going through thousands of lines, you can Control W, and then you can search directly for it. So you're like, okay, Control W, memory limit, right? Press enter, and it shows you, boom, right there, memory limit. I changed it to 512. Same thing for everything else. Just wanted to show you, we're following the NextCloud manual currently, what it recommends, because everything else that I tried through the lab, it didn't work. Okay, update. So we did the PHP. So now it's time to download the zip archive of NextCloud, and in the lab it says, click on get zip file, right? And so what I did, it says you can't use the web installer, you can't use the snap or whatever the NextCloud image. Use the zip file, and it says click on the button to get zip file. Well, instead of clicking on the button, if you look directly on your left bottom side right here, it'll show you the exact URL for that zip. So what I did is I took this website, this URL, and did wget. First, I cd'd into Apache root folder, and then downloaded the zip because NextCloud is supposed to be an Apache root. Took this web URL, did the wget, downloaded the zip, installed the unzip tool, and then just unzipped the NextCloud, and then we're going to install it, configure it, and that'll be the next video. So we're going to do a little recap. So what we did is I changed directory into the var www, which is the Apache root folder, and then I downloaded the latest zip while I still am in the directory, and I extracted it, and so that's what gave us the NextCloud, that blue right next to the latest zip. Now we have to change the ownership, so Apache has full control over this directory. So the directory would be var www NextCloud, so it has complete control of it, and that's what we're doing currently. Sorry, ran into some issues. So I set up everything. I gave Apache write permissions, read, write, execute permissions in the NextCloud directory. Set the C Linux uh, permissions or relabels um, for the Apache, because you want C Linux to do its job and block and do things. Anyways, did that. That was the first part, and then I went to the domain controller to use the web, and I got this. And I was like, oh well, crap. And I was like, oh, can't write into the config directory. I'm like, oh, of course, there's a config directory inside the NextCloud. Excellent. All right, so we go back to the drawing board and we do exactly what we did up here, but instead we are writing into the config. So now Apache has the permission to read, write, execute in the NextCloud config. So it's got read, write, execute, and then groups are read and write, and then others or users they have no rights. That's what that means. Chmod, that's a change, modify. Let's see here. Cmanage, fcontent. That's this is the C Linux. So yeah, that's what we're doing currently, and then we'll log into the. I think I can do that right now, actually. Oh my gosh. 2 week. I know it is. I don't think I have enough time to tell you everything I did, but I did a ton. I had to do so much to make this thing work. I couldn't get into. I didn't have read write execute for Apache to get into the data. The data storage. What is it? var www nextcloud data. Couldn't get into that because the directory didn't exist, so I created a directory. And then I gave the permissions, the C Linux, relabeled everything. Yeah, it's a huge list. On top of that, when I got that done and I tried to install, it said it couldn't reach the App Store. So I was like, well, for crying out loud. And so I had to go into the PHP config for NextCloud, and it wasn't in there. So I added some things like app enable, app store URL, and then gave the correct API endpoint. So then it should go right to it. And then I did some maintenance repair. Then I did the app update, and here we are. All right, so welcome back. I just want to recap on where we are and how we got here. This is the NextCloud dashboard is what you're looking at currently. It took a lot to get to this point. Yeah, so what we did, we installed the Fedora server, we installed Apache, and it's working. We installed the Maria database, and it's secured, and it's configured. We installed PHP, and its required modules for NextCloud. We downloaded the NextCloud zip. Downloaded. It's the zip from the community. You're not supposed to use the button or whatever. Anyways, NextCloud downloaded zip and extracted into the root folder of Apache. Let's see here. What else did I do? and for the C Linux was has been enforced the entire time. Didn't deactivate or anything. C Linux contexts have been corrected for the NextCloud and the data directory, which was a huge mess because when I was trying to log into NextCloud, it said it didn't have access to the data, and lo and behold, when you extract NextCloud, it doesn't come with the directory data, so you have to manually create the directory and then set your C Linux labels, and then give Apache full control of it. It was a mess. And then after that, the App Store didn't work. So once I logged in, it couldn't reach the App Store. So then I had to go into PHP initialization file and enable the App Store and enable the App Store URL so it knows where to point itself to. So that worked, thank goodness, and that's why we got to this part. So Apache permissions have been set correctly. NextCloud, the web installer is complete, and that's what we're looking at currently. App Store enabled, logged in the NextCloud. So yeah, that's all right. So we created the accounting group, and we are now creating a new account. Bob is his name. The account name is Bob. His display name is Bob. His password has to be unique and 10 characters. Found out. Email bob@class.local. That was from the last lab that we did. He is the member of the accounting, and his quota is 5 gigabytes. Let's create him. And great. There we go. That is Bob. So, I had some issues with the App Store again. I couldn't, it was an internal error. It didn't have rights to write into the apps on NextCloud. So I had to go in and change the config.php, and it was supposed to be set to apps.json instead of API v1 by itself. Anyways, changed that, and then I also updated the C Linux labels and changed ownership for Apache to have ownership to write into the apps directory. And then let's see, we did that, and then now it works. So what we're currently doing is setting up the multi-factor authenticator. We're currently on Bob, and I just set up the authenticator app on my phone. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to do it for the mid as well, so I think I'm going to do it for the mid anyway. All right, so we log back in as administrator, and I did set up the authenticator app for my administrator, so I got numbers for Bob and admin, and they're two different accounts, so that's really cool. Then we'll move on here. We're logged in as administrator. We enabled the external storage. We allow people to mount their external storage, so Bob can mount his Active Directory. And then we have the option to click the SMB CIFs, which is a PHP module that I installed very, very early on. Okay, so here's the multi-factor authenticator here. We're going to log in as Bob. Oh. Cha-ching. Cool. Create a user on Active Directory so Bob could share his or mount his share to NextCloud. So we created Bob Vila. Okay, so we created a Bob Active Directory share folder, and Bob has full control over this folder, and Bob is sharing this folder. Now we are adding the storage to NextCloud. Folder name is Bob add share. External storage SMB CIFS. Authentication is login and password host. is our Active Directory domain controller. The share that we're sharing is Bob's file. And then down below, login class Bob, and then his password for that user that we just created. Which password? Is it the Bob password? Oh, diggity. Okay, and here we are, Bob's share, external share. This is Bob's folder here. And yeah, and this check right here means it's good to go. If it wasn't working, there would be an error. All right, home stretch. We are on the client. Got the NextCloud application here. All right. Oh, right. We want to go in as Bob. Oh, authentication code, of course. Oh my god, that's amazing. Okay, and then it says we have to sync everything. So, so I'm on the domain, logged in as Bob. And I'm trying to find my folder. This is him. But then I got it on my client as well. Where are you? And I made some new files. This is Bob Vila. So I go to my domain. Sharing? This. Oh, look at that. It's sharing my files. That's cool. Cool, and that's on the domain. 6 minutes ago, choose Bob. Don't choose a file or folder to I don't want to transfer anything. I'm not quite sure how to actually access the folder. I'm not very keen on the NextCloud. Yeah, I believe that's it. Yeah, so we created the whole backend. That was fun. A lot of shell work, a lot of troubleshooting. A lot of troubleshooting, my goodness. Got the NextCloud client on the client PC that's connected to the DC. The DC has Bob's folder on it. I created new stuff inside Bob's folder. Bob's folder is synced to online, the NextCloud, and the client. You see in the files. Yeah, I think that's it. I think we made it. Yeah, so that's all I got for you. Um, yeah, it's been real. Yeah, super difficult. Super difficult. But It was needed. Experience is good. All right. See ya.